Do turn it on. Vroom. What is up, guys? David here for another vlogative vlog, and I hope that every single one of you is having a wonderful day. With some vlogs I kind of ease into everything to kind of give the general topic, but I think I'm just gonna go straight into it today because it's kind of a long story. Believe it or not, I get a lot of emails from you guys asking for help, asking for advice when it comes to even things just like life. A lot of people have stages in life where they think there's no way out. They think there's no way to get better. And so a lot of people resort to self-harm and violence and that sort of thing. And since I'm just a normal human being, just like every single one of you guys watching right now, I figured I would share my story of how I got out of this. I have quite a few videos talking about, you know, emotions and that kind of stuff, like my bully video and my driving therapy video. Those were two little things that helped me get through everything. As many as you guys know, socially, I had a pretty tough time growing up. On the outside, I looked completely fine. I was just very good at covering everything up, but in here, I wasn't doing so hot. Years upon years of buildup and not saying anything, it's very bad. So after I graduated high school, which is a battlefield of emotion and a battlefield of social struggle for a lot of people. For some people, it's the best years of their lives, but for me, it was probably some of my worst. I just didn't have a definitive friend group. You know, I tried to be friends with everybody, and I still tried to do that to this day, but it definitely clashes, and you definitely have to pay the price. I guess when you could say you have one person from one clique and the other person from another clique, you can't hang out on the same day. They just don't get along. After graduating high school, I went to community college for a semester just to kind of figure out where I wanted to go and everything. I wanted to do something in film, but I just didn't know where yet. The first seed, I guess you could say, of emotional trouble was I had a girlfriend who broke up with me right after high school, and I took it way too seriously, and I was like, oh my god, it's the end of the world. It wasn't, but you know how you are when you're younger. And so I was like, I gotta leave this town. I just need a fresh start. I just need to do everything differently. So I literally typed into Google film schools on the East Coast. That's what I did. So after that, I found my school, Regent University, which is in Virginia Beach. I moved down there as a transfer student, and thankfully I was on a hallway with other transfer students. We came in during a spring semester rather than the fall semester, so everybody kind of had their groups already, and we're just kind of the lone wolves, just like, oh, whatever. And the first semester was fine. I just did my work, I studied, all that shenanigans, and I did great. It was fine. But I still had these bottled up emotions that I can never really express myself with. I just was kind of a walking time bomb. I was just stressed all the time and emotionally stressed all the time. I let things get to me more than they should have. So a few more semesters down the road, I kind of established myself, and I got to know the town a little bit more, Virginia Beach, and I still didn't have that many friends outside of my school. Not saying that there weren't good people at my school, it's just I just didn't see eye to eye with everybody, and my personality was very different. So I clashed. It just didn't work. You have to learn to identify when you just can't work with some people. It's just how it is. But I find out that there's a skate park called Mount Trashmore, and I was like, oh my gosh, I haven't been skating in so long. Maybe this will be my new outlet. It became the new outlet for a while. I went to Mount Trashmore probably 3 times a week. I would say I didn't study enough during that time period, and I procrastinated because I just wanted to skate all the time, because it was kind of my I guess you could say, my environment that helped me be more at peace. So that was working for a while. But then the next year, I had more than one roommate, and they're overall good people, but I guess I just didn't fit in, and I just didn't seem to click with them. I will admit, I would make social mistakes at times. I would kind of lie about where I was going sometimes, and it was just kind of silly, because I was kind of that kid who was never on campus. Just little tiny lies just kind of built up. At this time, I didn't really have many friends. My reputation had been kind of tainted, but it was my fault. I became, I guess you could say, kind of messed up here, and in here I was totally damaged. For example, I would walk by somebody, and this is at the beach, and somebody would be like to somebody else, hey, are you going to the beach today? And I go, oh, you guys going to the beach? Do you mind if I come? And then they would turn to me and they'd go, oh, we're not sure yet. We're not going to the beach. Then I would walk into my dorm room and I would overhear them say, yeah, we're going to the beach. We just don't want David to come. Little things like that just totally destroyed me. I mean, it just put me at this breaking point, because not only was this going on, my school was going on, and it was very hard. The classes are very hard there. So one day I went to Trashmore, and there was somebody there who saw my car. This is back when I had my 2006 Mustang. He goes, hey man, do you ever go to the car meets around here? I go, no. There's car meets? I'm down. I ended up going, and it was the first ever car meet I'd ever gone to, and it was heaven to me. Only bad thing is it got shut down right after I started going. That one got shut down by the police, and so did the adjacent one down the street. So there I was, back in my dorm room, depressed, alone, grieving on my mistakes, and just, it was a disaster. And I'm not gonna lie, I definitely pondered at times just ending everything, because I was just so damaged. I was so hard on myself. I was so just emotionally distraught. So I finally called my parents, and just a mess, and I told them everything. They never really knew that I struggled that much growing up. They never knew, because I always had this cover on. I tell them I'm a mess and I just have to get out of here. So I moved out of my dorm and I got an apartment all by myself. I guess you could say this was the first step towards getting better. So then one night I was sitting alone in my apartment, you know, just kind of playing Xbox or something, and I look at the time and I go, I wonder if the car meets have come back. I wonder if they found a way for the police to leave us alone. So I go out to the normal spot and it is packed. It was heaven. So I ended up meeting a few very friendly people there, and now I guess you could say this was my first true night as a 100% car guy. And all I did was talk about cars, and all I needed to talk about was cars, because that was everybody's common bond. Once you become a car person, you have unlimited things to talk about, and it's super easy. And if you don't act like an idiot, you're socially accepted, almost no matter what. So I met these guys who had another Mustang, and they're like, hey, you should go to Cars and Coffee tomorrow. And I'm like, there's a Cars and Coffee down here? And they go, yep, it's at 7 in the morning. I'm like, oh man, that's early. But I woke up, had my alarm set, I hit the snooze button like 8 times, and here's the amazing part, I wasn't gonna go. I was so tired from the night before. I was out till like 2, but I made myself go. Even though I was alone, and I didn't know anybody at this event, I made myself go. One decision can change your entire life. One tiny little decision. So I go to Cars and Coffee, and I'm all alone, just walking around, and I'm talking to a few people, you know, about exotics and whatnot, because I'm a little exotic geek. And then this guy shows up in this 350Z, and he has this plasti-dipped roof. Like, the entire thing is plasti-dipped. And he gets out of the car. You can tell this dude is just so tired. And I go, this is my opportunity. I know exactly what that stuff is. I have something to talk about. So I go up and go, hey, is that plasti-dip? And he goes, it sure is. And because of that moment, I made one of my best friends I've ever had, Brandon Gazanigo. And after that, he invited me with his group, Brandon, Nate, and a few other people, to go hang out at James's house, the owner of the Jasmine Evo, who was deployed overseas at this time. I was in somebody's house who wasn't home with other people I had just met. What have I got myself into? But it was the best decision I've ever made. It was a domino effect after that. I then met Sean with Nessa. I then met James with Jasmine. I then met Matt Mental with his Mini Cooper. And then I met Steve with the G35. I met all these incredible people who accepted me for who I was, and they didn't see me as anything bad at all, and they accepted me. All because of cars. Cars have changed my life. It's so crazy to think about that this four-wheeled mechanical thing that we obsess over so much, when you think about it, is so stupid. It's so stupid that we're so obsessed with these. To most people, they're just a tool. But for people like me, there's something else. Without cars, I would have I wouldn't have the greatest friends I've ever had, who have been nothing but supportive of me, who have done everything in their power to make me feel better at horrible times in my life. I would have never had that at my school the way they have for me. And I know I'm getting kind of choked up, but it's true, and it's hard to talk about because it was such a drastic change where David went from super depressed and on the verge to kill himself to living every day and looking forward to it. And the case is the exact same way when I moved back here to Richmond because I couldn't afford living in Virginia Beach anymore. When I moved back in with my family, I just posted on Facebook one day and I was like, hey, is there any car meets in Richmond? And that night, I didn't know a soul in the car scene in Richmond. And on that first night, I was accepted by almost everyone. And I made all of my friends there. Jake, Zach, Matthew Holder, Hunter Cuervo, Maya, all these friends that I have now do so much for me, and they're very close to me, and they'll always have my back. I don't know about you, but I do not know many hobbies that do this to people and bring people together so effortlessly. Oh, I was getting choked up earlier, sorry guys. And it turned my life around. I sit here behind a wheel of a car knowing that everything is gonna be okay and that everything is gonna be all right. No matter if I have a friendship or family issue, a financial issue, a breakup, who knows? I know in the end that I'm gonna be okay, no matter what. You have to live your life that way, no matter if you're into cars or not. You have one life, and I was so stupid that I almost threw it away. I was this close. The saying is true, treat others like you would want to be treated, and live your life every day like it's an adventure, because it is. So I want to thank all of you guys for watching this video. It was kind of hard to get through. I know it was very long, but I just wanted to share how much this hobby and how much my friends have changed my life, because without them and the support of my family, I probably wouldn't be here right now. So my shout out goes to all of my close friends, every single one of you. I am forever in debt to all of you guys who have kept me close. And of course, all of you as well who are watching, because I made this channel to share my experiences, to share my adventures, to share my life and showing its progress on how it has gotten better because of something like cars. Cars affected me so hardcore during my film school era that I was hardly ever on campus, that I refused to do my senior project on anything else but cars. I refused. It had changed my life that much. And that's where Blood, Sweat, and Gears was made. It had slow cars in it, but it didn't matter. The passion was still there. And that's all I wanted to show everybody. I just wanted to show that nobody's perfect. I'm not perfect. I'm just another dude on the internet making videos. I decided to do it in this fashion where you've heard my struggle, so maybe you can apply it to your struggle. So the question of the day is, have you ever been in a bad place, and how did you get out of it? Thank you so much for watching this, and I will see you guys next time. Take it easy.